Welcome to Inner Peace, Better Health, where we explore the intersections of mindfulness, spirituality, and a better way of living. I am your host, Arick, and today's episode promises a journey through deep contemplation, spirituality, and the art of being present. Joining me is Roger Butts, author of Seeds of Devotion, hospital chaplain, Unitarian Universalist minister, and all around expert on centering prayer and radical peacemaking. With humor, grace, and wisdom, Roger will help us uncover how spirituality can guide us through life's complexities and ground us in the present moment. So let's dive in. Roger, we are so excited to have you on our show, and it's an absolute honor to have you here.
Oh, thank you for your hospitality and that kind introduction. I'm really delighted to be here.
Yeah. So, what drew you to chaplaincy, and how does it intersect with your spiritual journey?
Yeah, so I've been a hospital and a hospice chaplain for many years,
Yeah.
and when I was in seminary around 1999, 2000, sometime in there, I was hired while I was still in seminary to work at the University of Maryland Medical Center in Baltimore, Maryland, and as a PRN chaplain. And I was working there on Tuesdays and every other weekend. And I really enjoyed being able to hear people's stories. I really enjoyed being able to be present with people in difficult times when
Yeah.
they were confused or disoriented or sad or grieving, whatever it was. I had the capacity to just be fully available to them and help
Mm.
bring a little bit of comfort and peace to them in a difficult time. And so I've always enjoyed that. And now, as a matter of fact, I'm doing more hospice work than hospital work.
Hmm.
So
Wow.
I'm with people at the end of their lives often.
Wow. That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. So, centering prayer sounds beautiful, but is it really different from meditation?
It's not too different, no. The difference is that it comes out of the monastic tradition, the Catholic monastic tradition. And it's a beautiful exercise where you just sit and try to create space in your own spirit so that the divine or what have you is able to operate on your insides, heal your heart, give you hope, give you a challenge, whatever it is that the divine's going to do. And so centering prayer is, let me just describe the essential pieces of it. Um, you,
Yeah.
you, you sit, you find a comfortable place to sit, and and you maybe say a psalm or a prayer. You might read a psalm or you might read a prayer to yourself or say a prayer to yourself. And then you choose a word, a simple word that is your reminder of your agreement with the divine to keep your heart open, to keep your soul open, to keep your, insides open, and
Yeah.
not get distracted. So when a thought comes, which of course they come, you
Mm.
just gently remind yourself of that agreement via the word and get back to your breath. You do this for 20 minutes and then you pray that that kind of internal peace stay with you the rest of the day. You might say the Lord's Prayer, and then you move on with your daily work. It's a really beautiful practice of opening yourself to the Spirit. Nothing more. I
Yeah.
say it's the most Buddhist practice that Christians engage in,
Mm.
and very mindful, very meditation oriented. It doesn't matter to me what, as long as people have some kind of silence in their lives, or some kind of practice, it doesn't matter to me what people call it or what metaphors they use for God, or the
Mm.
spirit, or, you know, mindfulness, that it just matters that people find their song and sing it. That's what I like to say.
Yeah, yeah. So, as a chaplain, how do you bring peace to someone who might not share your beliefs?
Yeah, it's not my job to tell them what to believe or have the same spirituality. If somebody is
Hmm.
atheist or somebody is Jewish or somebody is Muslim or Hindu or Buddhist or some kind of different kind of Christian than I am, that's fine. What I
Yeah.
want to do, what I want to do is provide
Mm.
space for them to describe how their faith and their understanding is helping them to navigate through difficult times and to remind
Yeah.
them their own strength, their own resilience, to remind them that
Hmm.
if they have a God or if they have some, if nature is what they find comfort in, that those things are still with them, that they're not doing this alone, and that they can describe to me how their faith is helping them in this time. And if their faith feels abandoned, if they feel abandoned by their faith, or if they're mad at God, my job is just to listen to them and let them
Hmm.
know in a non-judgmental that they're going to be okay. They're okay. I will hear them, and they may not ever get better physically, but they can emotionally and spiritually still um, be present to whatever is happening.
Yeah, yeah, that's wonderful. And some of our listeners might wonder, can prayer or spirituality still matter in today's skeptical world? What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, people have every good reason to be skeptical of institutions, religions, churches. Um, you know, there's been a lot of irrelevancy. There's been a lot of focusing on
Mm.
things that don't matter, and
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that people need to be religious or need to be any kind of spiritual practice that doesn't fit them. I encourage people to find what really gives them hope, what really gives them community, what gives them meaning, what gives them
Mm.
purpose. And whatever those things are, some people find them in churches. Some people find them taking a hike. And here, I live in Colorado, so a lot of people find it on a hike. Whatever it is it's important that
Mm.
people try to find something that will, give them inner peace, like the title of your podcast here. Um,
Mm.
there's stories bigger than we are, and it's important that people attach themselves to it. So if somebody is pagan or somebody is a humanist or somebody Christian, that's great.
Mm.
But I'm encouraging people to find the path that makes them more compassionate, more connected, more alive.
Mm. Mm. Wow, that's that's wonderful. So, Roger, you talk a lot about radical peacemaking. Isn't that an
Mm,
idealistic concept in a world filled with conflict?
yes, yes. It is. And I have a favorite poet named Carl Sandburg who said, I'm an idealist. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm on my way. Um, I have to believe that peacemaking is possible, both in the individual, in the family, in the city, and in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
it just we have not. exhausted the possibilities of peace yet. We've done a lot of
Mm,
spending on defense, we've done a lot of spending on the military. But we have not done a lot of spending trying to teach peace, and I think
yeah.
we can do better. I have a friend in Colorado Springs who is a Mennonite. He's a Mennonite
Mm,
minister, and he is a peacemaker. And he takes guns that are turned in when people don't want them anymore,
mhm,
and converts them into garden tools. And
mm,
he allows people who have been who have had loved ones die from violence to tell their
yeah.
story. And the whole time he is converting these guns into garden tools. I really
Mm,
believe that that kind of peacemaking can change the
mm,
world.
mm. That's wonderful. I love your perspective. Do you think centering prayer is for everyone, or is it a practice for only spirituality inclined?
Well, I don't know if it's for everyone. Some people prefer to sit in a Buddhist sangha, and have a different kind of metaphor spoken about, or have a Buddhist teacher. Some people prefer to go and pray in a cathedral, or say the rosary. Some people, like my wife,
Mm,
take a walk and do prayers. It's not for everyone, but centering prayer is
yeah.
really a beautiful practice of
Mm,
letting go. It's about letting go of your thoughts, not judging them, just letting them go and
mm,
returning to your breath and keeping your heart open. So I don't care what people do to do that, but we all have to practice
mm,
letting go of our resentments, letting go of our anger, letting go of our expectations, letting go of some kind of egocentric view of the world, and taking on a more holistic view of the world, I would say.
wow. Wow. So,
What
a
about you?
listener's question.
What is your practice, Arick? What do you do?
Oh, Um, I am so similar to your wife in this sense because I
Yes.
love to. So what I used to do earlier, I used to spend time in my room all alone. So like I would play hymns or I would play some worship music or I would play some Christian music or just simple atmospheric music kind of a thing, some pads,
Yeah.
ambient music or something like that. And
Yes.
I would just sit in my room and I would just focus on that one person that has helped me.
Oh,
And his name
oh,
is Jesus.
oh, that's
And
beautiful.
and
I love that.
and and whenever I used to think about it, I used to get so you know, it's all about our awareness. This is what I believe. Wherever
Yes.
our awareness will be, there will be our our mind. There will be our thoughts.
That's right. That's
So I
right.
believe the moment when I am sitting in my room and focusing on this person, Jesus, I'm being aware that he's right here. He's right there in the room with me. On
Yes.
other days where so in Hebrews, this is what I learned in Hebrews. There are seven types of uh, of uh, of praying. So
Oh, good.
I
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't want to miscommunicate, so I would not say. But like seven types of praising God and worshiping and praying. However,
Yes.
there's one is stillness. So Isaiah 26, oh, Psalms 46:10. It says that be still and know that I'm
Be
God.
still in it.
So
Yes. I use that all the
so
time. Yeah.
So I believe that we have to be still and know that He is
Yeah.
actually God. And
Yeah.
however, there are other verses in the Bible, the scripture, like Ephesians 6:18. It says, "Pray at all times, be
That's right.
vigilant, that
That's
so
right.
that your enemy, who is like a roaring lion, does not come to devour you." So that does not mean that our enemy is a lion. It says
Right.
he's like a roaring lion, so he might pretend that he is a roaring lion, but he is actually
Right.
not, because
Right.
because this because the scripture says that Satan, or enemy, has been stripped naked of all power. So the only power that we give to the enemy is the power that we give to the enemy, if that makes sense. Otherwise, he
Well,
has been stripped naked of every power.
yeah, and what I like about that Ephesians verse of is that prayer. So whether you're feeding the hungry, for instance, that can be a form of prayer. Whether you're sitting and listening to music, that can be a form of prayer. If you're hiking around, that can be a form of prayer. If you're doing centering prayer. But there's all these, as you say, there's all these different ways of praying. But really, what I love about that Ephesians piece is that it really suggests that our whole life,
Exactly,
when we
exactly.
orient our heart to the good and to the beautiful and to the divine, our whole life then becomes a prayer. So if I'm peeling potatoes,
Mm,
I'm giving thanks for the earth, and I'm giving thanks for the farmers, and I'm giving thanks for potatoes and my family that I'm going to feed, and so your whole life then becomes a prayer. I have the kind of personality where I need to sit in silence for 20 minutes or so, just to keep my mind from not fluttering around all the time. You know what I mean? So that's helpful for me. But yeah, I've loved this conversation. Thank you so much, Arick, for having me. I so appreciate
yeah.
I so appreciate your curiosity and your openness.
Thank you so much, Roger. It really means a lot. It was an absolute honor to have a man of God in this conversation, and I really love this conversation. Thank you so much for being
Oh,
here. And so, yeah, that's all. That's a wrap for this episode.
God bless you, Arick. Thank you so much for having me on. And I will look forward to hearing about when this podcast goes up, if it goes up. And I know you're going to make the world a better place with your podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was an absolute pleasure to have you. And until then, take a moment to breathe, be present, and find the grace in your everyday life. See you soon.